we are. Oh, don't mind me, little one. I've just come to watch the show. The show? My favorite show. Don't you know what's coming? They're opening the gates soon. The gates? I suppose you've never seen them, though, have you? Well, trust me, they exist. Massive gates built from the corpses of mighty trees. Those gates are the only thing that keeps the horde away. But they open them for a few days every year, and, well, I've come to watch. Oh, I watch the show every year. I don't have to worry about the horde. They can't see me. But they can see you. In fact, you're what they're here for. Well, not you specifically, but I'm sure one of them will take you. Young, healthy, and your skin is still so taut, they'll just eat you up. Well, no, not literally. The horde doesn't eat its prey. They do something much, much worse. Oh, I don't know if you really want to hear what they do. It's bone-chilling stuff. Well, I could tell you, if you promise not to scream. The horde busts down that gate, then they spread out through the field. They look around until they find one of you, and then they strike. They tear you right up and drag you away past those gates, and once you've passed the gates, your fate is sealed. Oh, the next part is my favorite. They leave you alone for what'll seem like days, until they're ready. And when they're ready, and only then, they'll take out their claws. Massive claws they have. They trace those claws over your skin, taunting you, until they know you're about as terrified as can be. And once you're pale as a sheet, they start to cut. Oh, the cutting is the best part. You scream and scream and scream, and they never stop. It's like they don't even hear you. After they cut, they start tearing your insides out. They pull and they scoop and yank and tweeze until they've gotten everything out of you. But for some hellish reason, it doesn't kill you. No, you just sit there, feeling the worst pain you've ever felt, ever imagined, unable to die. And you'll scream, and frown, and beg for mercy. And do you know what they'll do? They'll take their claws and carve a smile into you. Then they'll set you up, nice and high, where all the others can see, and they leave you there, screaming, begging, wishing to die, and smiling all the while. It's really funny, I think, that symphony of screams. And if you're in one of the horde's hives, you might even be able to hear hundreds of your kind, all screaming. Oh, and the horde just doesn't care. They don't even bat an eye. Maybe, if you're lucky enough, some little horde member with a bleeding heart will come and put you out of your misery. But only a few get that luxury. Get to be crushed before what comes next. No. Most of you have to sit there, You watch the sun rise and rise and set, screaming all the while, until eventually you rot. Your body decomposes, and the maggots start to eat you alive. After about a day of that, the Horde will probably put an end to you. But wow, is it a great show! I can't wait to see it. It gets better every year, you know. The Horde gets a little more ravenous each time. Their claws get a little sharper, and the smiles they carve a little wider. Honestly, I can only imagine what they'll do to you. Oh, don't look at me like that, dear. I can't save you. Or, I guess, I won't save you. If you want to escape the Horde, you'll just have to do it yourself. Oh, I'm just musing, little one. You can't escape the Horde alone. Maybe, and I do mean maybe, you could hide under a leaf or a vine. Perhaps the Horde would pass over you, but that's more of a game of luck than a skill. And your chances of pulling it off are, oh, so very slim. Oh, look! They're opening the gates! Darling, you've got to stop begging. It's ruining my fun. Yes, I'm sure you're very scared, as you should be. The Horde is getting close. But I don't want to help, so your pleas are falling on deaf ears. Oh, you'd do anything. Anything at all? Well then, I tell you what. Why don't you sit still and be quiet? And if you don't annoy me any further, I'll protect you from the Horde. No! I'm obviously lying. Why would I save you, little one? What would I gain? I think what you fail to consider is that your willingness to do anything doesn't matter when you can do very little. You just wouldn't be useful to me. Now look! One of them's coming right over. Wow, that was sudden. Usually they take a little longer to pick. Really, you're still talking. I just couldn't be bothered, little one. I'm sure you're very scared, and maybe that last victim was a family member or a friend or something, but I don't care. This is how things go, and there's nothing I can do to change it. Unless... No, it'd be silly. You don't want my help. Oh, you do you? Well, there is one way I could save you. Don't you worry that pretty little head on how I'd save you. I can. End of story. But I'm not going to help you for free. Well, the way I see it, if I save you from certain death, your life is mine. You'd belong to me. And darling, I may just be worse than the Horde could ever be. Are you sure that's a deal you'd want to make? Clock's ticking, little one. I doubt you have much time left. Oh, you will? Well then, there's just one thing we have to do to strike the deal. Tell me you're mine. Say, I belong to you. I'm yours to do whatever you wish with. Say that, and our bond will be sealed. Works every time. Yes, don't worry. You have my blessing. Not a single Horde finger will touch you. But don't think I've forgotten your side of the deal. Tomorrow night is a full moon, an All Hallows Eve moon. And so, when the moon reaches its peak, I'll be back to collect you. What we do after is more for me to know and you to find out. For now, why don't you just watch? You're safe, so you can do what I do. Watch as the horde ravages your field, knowing they won't ever touch you. No, don't want to watch. Suit yourself. I'm gonna go find a place to sit that isn't so depressing. And see you soon, pumpkin.